Hello everyone, welcome back to Fury Time channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Tyson Fury vs Ngannou is at least a surprise and at most a full-fledged sensation. At first, it seemed that these were rumors, but when the fighters themselves announced the fight, it became very interesting. So far, we have witnessed such fights, but as a rule, fighters or boxers openly traveling from the fair participated in them. The goal was to earn some money, to amuse myself and the audience, but this is a serious matter. Both athletes are at the peak of their careers. Tyson Fury has practically no equal among heavyweights, and Francis Ngannou proved everything in the UFC. However, he left the promotion often dead, but undefeated. It is assumed that the fight will take place according to the rules of boxing. Remembering such fights, the first thing that comes to mind is the Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Conor McGregor fight. That fight also belonged to a serious level. Although Floyd had already finished his career as an ex-world champion in 5-weight, and the Irishman was the owner of 2 championship titles in the UFC. The fight also took place according to the rules of boxing, and Mayweather won it by technical knockout in the 10th round. In monetary terms, not only the athletes won, but also the organizers, who stated that about 4.3 million broadcasts were sold. Mayweather easily beat the Irishman, for which he received almost $280 million in total. McGregor's income was about $130 million. At the same time, the dedications guaranteed to the fighters amounted to $100 million for Mayweather and $30 million for McGregor, but the proceeds from pay-per-view increased their earnings several times. By the way, so far no one has managed to surpass that show in terms of income. For comparison, the record for a boxing match belongs to the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. Then 100,000 more broadcasts were sold. In MMA, success in this regard is more modest. Most of the broadcasts were sold at the UFC 229 event, when Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor meet in the main fight of the evening. Then 2.4 million broadcasts were sold. There are suggestions that the fight between Fury and Ngannou can collect no less or even set a new record. The Cameroonian, like a hurricane, swept over all his rivals in the UFC. For several years, he simply destroyed almost everyone who stood in his way. Was reported to be the most terrible knockout. And the most prestigious promotion, Ngannou won 12 victories, with 10 by knockout, most of which were after one precise blow. Why not a boxer? 2 years ago, the Cameroonian knocked out Stipe Miocic, and last year he won the fight against Cyril Gane by unanimous decision. By that time, Ngannou had been competing in the UFC for several years and wanted to negotiate a new agreement with Dana White. Negotiations went on for a long time. The parties blamed each other. The fighter believed that he was not respected. The organization believed that it offered him a huge sum, and that this is just a rip-off on the part of Francis. As a result, the contract was never concluded, and Ngannou found himself in Fury's position, the strongest fighter of his weight category and out of work. Everything was going to the fact that Francis Ngannou would end his career. But then a contract with another PFL promotion arrived, and then an offer to fight with Fury. Life began to improve, especially since the Cameroonian, while still under contract with the UFC, repeatedly stated that he was ready to fight with one of the heavyweight boxers. Regardless of how the fight with Fury ends, Ngannou will win. For Ngannou, the upcoming show may be a chance to shake up his career, which went on hiatus after he failed to agree with UFC bosses on the financial terms of a new contract. The monetary parameters of the upcoming fight were not disclosed, but Fury assured that his opponent would receive damn 50 times more than he earned before. Fury is probably exaggerating somewhere, but most likely Ngannou will really earn as much as he has not received in his entire career in UFC. At the same time, the sites do not name the prize fund of the fight. It is obviously large. Note that for his last fight against Derek Chisora in December last year, Fury received 25 million, including pay-per-view dedications. It is unlikely that Britain agreed to a new fight for a smaller amount. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.